Hello, everybody. Grandmaster Boros, and you're watching the Chess Sweep channel. So today, we're going to do a bit of blitz, and then I'll give you my lecture on my game versus a world champion challenger, a future, obviously, was a future world championship challenger, not yet at that moment. However, got there. So hope you guys will enjoy that one as well. In any case, it's almost ready. It's kind of baking in there. This is going to be the lecture. And I do want to take some points about PogChamps, which I felt was kind of interesting. In PogChamps, if you've seen, XQC got checkmated in a few moves, and I think it does have to do with the way people taught them to play chess. Now, chess is an interesting game, but there are some important concepts that you really need to pin down. And I think that is the thing that's sort of lacking. I'm going to even give you a few examples here. So one of the first things that I think is important in chess is to understand the weaknesses around there. And that is the f2 and f7 pawns. Elitism, I don't know if that's a big deal. That is kind of like the drama point of who's with who, and I don't know. But my main point is, the first thing you should show to anybody ever is the f2 and f7 square weaknesses. And if you don't do that, then there's something's going on. Now, I do understand that XQC did not get coaching as far as I know. But still, the first thing is that the f2 and f7 pawn are like the main weaknesses, and they're identical. Because chess is a fair game. White has an extra move, but in the gist of it all, it's the same. And there was another thing that I kind of dislike, or at least disagree with. Maybe dislike is a strong word. So I saw this game between Fusli playing black and Voyboy playing white. And here Voyboy did d4, d5, e takes, bishop b5 check, and etc, and played a very good game. Bishop b5 check. Now, I mean, there's nothing wrong with this. It's not the best move, but it's a totally legitimate move. And here, Nakamura suggested something that I disagree with. Now, I could be wrong, but I honestly feel at this level, when you're just starting out, the goal should be to get as many pieces out as possible. So when Voyboy decided to take, play bishop b5 check, and just make some random moves, and attempting to hide the king and get a safe position, I think that is more than enough, and that is something that you should be going for. And then from then on, you'll get a game, and eventually he even won with a beautiful attack. Hey, Gabriel Unguriano. Hello there. Instead, Nakamura was saying that don't take there, go here, play bishop f5, knight c3, e6, g4, knight e2. And to be honest with you, as a grandmaster, I played this system. Even for grandmasters, this is insanely complicated. Like, the level of knowledge that you need to play this is insane. Why? Because your center is near collapsing, and if you don't do some voodoo magic with white, you are likely just to collapse. Hello, bronze. So, I'm not saying this is not good, and who would dare argue that Nakamura doesn't know what he's talking about? But the thing is, the human brain is tricky. We forget how it feels to be a beginner. Most of the time, I do feel like I can't undo what I already know. Caramel, thank you for the follow. So in a lot of ways, the human brain cannot go backwards. Once you know something, it's like a sponge. It's always there, or at least will remember bits of it. That is kind of the thing. And here, you kind of cannot unknow, I think, for Nakamura, that he knows this stuff. He knows that this is viable. But if you clear it off and realize that, hey, for a newcomer, you're actually violating lots of rules. One of the rules is don't push pawns where you want to castle eventually. And you're also giving up the center, because after c5, you don't really have any ways to bolster this center, this pawn chain. Like here, e4, e6. Now this is understandable. I could get behind teaching this idea and just get a good center. But this is exactly the opposite of that, because there's no way of protecting your center, because your knight is in the way. And also I feel that, yes, e4, c6, e5, so this move is the best move in the position. However, it needs a lot of work to understand what's going on. And these players are still just getting into the game of chess. They don't need to know what is the cutting edge technology. They need to get the basics down. So honestly, I don't think that is kind of the way to go. But I am curious what you guys think, because that's my opinion. Could be flawed, but it is my opinion. Should they play main lines? Principled lines? Or just sidelines? Hi, just joined, says no problem at all. Who are the players? So I'm just talking a little bit about PogChamps and asking questions about the openings. Sort of mentioned this one is kind of a little bit of the game Voyboy versus Fusli and Moist Critical against XQC. Actually, it's reversed. XQC Critical. And I'm just wondering if the way they approach these opening problems is a good idea. The Caro-Kann mainline classic is the principled line. Don't understand what you're saying, Vampire Chicken. So what I mean by principled in this specific case and in the poll is following the rules of chess. Meaning, the rules of chess are the following. You want these four squares. You want to control them. You don't happen to control all of them, then you try to castle quickly. And castle. And then I would say that white succeeded playing a good game. That is my take. Or do you guys think it doesn't matter? Even as a newcomer, you are supposed to play the best of the best of the best. And I'll give this an exclam because it's the best move. Yeah, knight c3 is the old main line, Jonathan. Cybersync, they should have structured the prize pool to make throwing not worth it. Yeah, but I don't know if you can really claim that it's a throw. SGR saying, of course they should play main lines. Did Nakamura really suggest that sideline? My question is, really, why? Why should they play the main lines? Uchiha is saying, I mean sometimes even at high level, if someone comes up with an insane preparation, but then after they run out of their prep, they make a small inaccuracy which leads to a loss. Good point. I mean, most of them are newcomers, so I don't really think that, you know. Um, so the poll results play principled lines by a lot, big margin, and if they should play main lines or sidelines, kind of, not really. And here, what I meant about principled lines is to try to castle. So, Jonathan, as an expert, also shout out to Jonathan, what would you advise for these players to play? Let's say, what would you advise Voyboy to play against the Karo Khan? Knight c3? Why would you teach them knight c3? I'm honestly curious. I'm not asking out of spot or anything. I'm very much curious why you would teach that. In the main line, you develop the pieces and castle. Yeah, that makes total sense. Hey Krishna, it's easy, logical to explain. So what I think Jonathan is referring to is knight c3, which makes a lot of sense. You're trying to control the four squares. D takes here, bishop f5. Going back just feels a little weird, I think, when you're starting out here. I guess maybe you could even just argue and go for the bishop d3 and castles. It's not even the main line, but there's... I do not like the London. What I can advise you is the Rapport Jobava system. That's all I can give you. Hello. Hello, hello. Why not suggest some traps or something? So, and one of those things that I think was wrong, and I don't know, maybe I'm the only one here, but I think one of the important things that you should teach, the first thing you should teach is the weakness on f2 and f7. Do you teach that, Jonathan? Or do you focus on the f2, f7 weakness? I just wonder when people teach the f2, f7, like number 10 is the lecture on the weakness on f2 or an f7 or not. The reason I'm bringing this up over and over again because of the XQC game where he lost to critical because of this. And then this was a threat. And again, there's another thing that I disagree with Nakamura. Because Nakamura was claiming that, oh, this is cheesy to go for this checkmate. Sort of, you know, the beginner's mate. However, if bishop e3, queen f6, c3, we're in mainline. So I don't understand why he's kind of upset with Naroditsky. I'm pretty sure, and this is how human brains work. We tend to go for things that we learned. So when XQC played c3, Critical, I'm pretty sure, learned that he's supposed to go here and queen f6. And Nakamura checked the computer and the computer said knight f6. However, these people are more happy, and sometimes even top GMs are happy to go into lines that they're familiar with. So I see nothing wrong with Moist Critical playing queen f6, saying, hey, I know this line. This is the one that I practiced with Danya, so why wouldn't I play queen f6 here as well? So I don't think that this is like a bad choice. Oh, so you feel Hikaru was super embarrassed. Okay. Not his fault, but his student got punked. Let's see. And this is the famous line which was played a lot of times by Kasparov in the exhibition matches against exactly Nakamura and Caruana, if I'm correct. No, this is a famous line of the Scotch Maxims. So I don't really see that. Like, I think Hikaru has maybe a little problem kind of disengaging from the fact that these guys are trying to get the position they're given. So they're not trying to get like a specific the best move because they can't. They're trying to castle. They're trying to get the basics down. So they're not trying to play the best move here, which is knight f6 and then castle. They're trying to remember theory, and I think wasn't even trying to checkmate. He was trying to recall what Danya taught him. Yeah, I mean, this is much easier to play with black, to be honest with you. Why? Because there's so much pressure on d4, and you're attacking pawns on g2 and e4, and it just flows easier. Nildu is saying Velnaka is a good coach and all, but Naro is a professional. He does this for a living. Yeah, so I think really, when you're teaching these, I think castling should be so high on the priority. However, I understand XQC didn't want to do that, but whenever he got the chance, he really should have given a line like this, castles, just to get out of that zone. Mostly beginner, Krishna. I'd say so. So I think that's kind of... Yeah, Maxence, what you're saying is basically copying this line with black. So this line was first. This bishop e3, queen f6 line was first, and then they copied it in this one. This is just the copy, the carbon copy of the Scotch line. So it's not the other way around. In fact, the Scandi is the one that is learned later. No. No, the Scotch is a very old system. And the Scandi is not as old. They do look alike. I do admit that. And to be honest with you, and that's my last point, I do think that if you're trying to learn something against the Caro-Kann. You're not supposed to learn the main stuff in e5. I think you're not ready. You're just not ready to know all those stuff. No problem at all is saying they only get opening lessons as far as I see. Bit weird, but this way they mostly survive the beginning of the game. I guess that's the goal. I don't know. I don't know what their goal is. So, and anyways, I did like Voyboy's choice because once he get into this one, it got really good. Um, do you think the Karyakin space game was pre-rehearsed? Um, I don't know if that was one of those things. Never know. Alright, so I'm gonna play a game. Then, you always develop the queen last, right? Go d4. Yay! Boo, 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 boo. Boo, boo. d6, let's go bishop g5. g3, gonna go bishop g2, activate my bishop. Okay, I can go a4, a5 just to kill the scope over there. Play h3. H2 would be a mistake because maybe knight g4. Knight e5. Completely forgot about that one. fb3, take away that square. There, f4. Let's kick this knight out. Knight g6. e4. There, knight d2, just defending. There. And this again, usual terrible start. Wonderful. Wonderful. Not a big fan. Magnus playing. Let's defend. Let's just get the knight to better square. e5. Takes. Am I getting botted? Might be, I don't know. Or not, I don't know. Who knows if I'm being botted? Takes. Let's activate our folks. G1. Just getting my rook on the file. Hoping to get some play. Knight d4. Back. In g2, let's hit that target. g5. Oh my goodness. g5. This guy's bonkers. g5. What? What is g5? I mean, I don't mean it's terrible. I think it's horrible. Like, what? What is g5? Okay, here. g5. Can't get over it. How? Why? Who did this to you? Who did this to you? Did somebody teach you chess? I mean, like the wrong way. I'm pretty sure you got taught, but who did this to you, really? And I can go here and just jump and takes. Could do that as well, but this is better. Oh my god, poor guy. Poor guy. Maybe he thinks this is good. But I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong. Yeah. Right now here comes the big question. Knight f6, king g7. Not a good deal. Check there, knight f6. That's a good deal. Knight f6, it can't, like, knight f6 takes mate. Knight f6 here. Checkmate. Okay, that's good. This is checkmate. Wow. Check. Hide. And checkmate. Wow. That's insane. That is insane. Why did you play g5? Like, I don't even know why I'm crying for my opponent. But still, like, hey, why? Why? And this is, like, again, the other thing. Like, all these people know one Luft. They know one Luft. They know the Luft of h6 in the PogChamps. They don't know about g6. They don't know about g6. Spock Chess, thank you for the follow. I like the rapport Jabava, but that's not the London. There. Oh, I misspelled. What's my favorite opening? The ones that win. The ones that draw, I don't know. I'm at odds with it. So takes here, and g6. This is a typical way of creating a Luft. In fact, one of those people, and I think that's why Void Boy is also a big favorite, because he's the one taught the fianchetto. And fianchetto is a huge advantage, I think, in the beginners games, because you already don't get back ranked, and you have a bishop on g7. I'm gonna even show you here. Like, whenever black gets a bishop on g7, you never get a back rank like you do in other games. Also, your king always has a hiding place. It's called a perk, Nerushim. Yeah. So here g5 was not a great idea. I terribly misplayed the game, obviously. But g5 was... Whew. And the issue was that this h6 pawn became really weak. Once you play g6, it also covers this important h5 square. So even if I go queen g4, the bishop can go back because I attacked it. Go queen h5, then this guy on h6 is a problem. Hey, Thomas, how are you? So g5, and then this king got extremely weakened, and I just needed to scoot on over there. What does the computer say? What? Computer doesn't even. Probably could try f5, I guess. Yeah, f5 is still good. f5 is good because it still puts some pressure on my king and stops this knight from coming to this square. I'm unlucky because the e5 is hanging and I'm done. However, after queen c3, now I'm winning because I collect the whole system. There, f5, and now this is checkmate. If the king goes to f7, queen h7, I take away all those squares. And if you take, then there's mate on g7. Or if you run, mate on e7. Alright. Let's see what's going on. So do you guys want to watch a bit of Carlsen? Let me see in the chat if we want a bit of Carlsen. Sure. Okay. Okay. Going to take a look at this one. So Carlsen's black is up a pawn. And although, because there's so few pieces left, this is closer to a draw than a win. Any exchange on g3 is a draw. However, if Magnus manages to exchange the queens, now he's actually winning an extra pawn. Oh, he exchanges the queens and it's over. 2 extra pawns. d4, c4, boo, and c3. Bishop g5. This is playing the main line. e3, bishop g3, knight e4. Being very aggressive. This could be the new hype. They're kind of transposing back to some queen c2 main variation. Yeah, I just wanted to update my title. Yeah, now that's like a one move threat. Because Magnus owns the e file, you never get checkmated, and the king is about to escape from danger. Maybe not just yet, or maybe right now. Who am I to disagree? However, this is annoying. He's not only attacking there, he's planning to munch on all of those pawns. Thank you for the follow. Follow. What am I doing? What am I doing? Orange, thank you for the follow. Also, if you have any questions, let me know. I missed that game. Whoa. That was a quick blunder. Lost the whole rook there. Not ideal. Okay. Why castle into the open H file? Well, he felt that it's not that dangerous and he was not wrong. Takes. Ooh, the king looks iffy. Probably knight e6. Hitting the queen and wants to take the rook. Yep. Gonna take on a8. And then this king is a little bit misplaced. However, black has plenty of pieces once this knight is captured. I don't know if it's gonna get captured. And might not be captured. Hello, Bunkinator. Should Magnus play bullet before clutch chess tournament? Definitely yes. Can anybody post the clutch chess link? Okay, so takes, bishop d7, queen f7. Those rooks are strong. This rook is still in the garage, so I don't like it. Bishop e7, you want to exchange off that guy. Ooh, he's going for it, but I don't think that's good. No, it's not good. Takes, knight f6. And black has too many pieces. Two knight pieces and a rook is more than a queen. I really have to... No. Somebody please add that clutch link. So this b pawn is fast. So maybe Magnus will have to come up with a way, but maybe he will have to take with the rook. Okay, bishop b5, that's mate and one threat. Check. So he should take that e5, e4 knight. So check there. King d3, king c3, check, take the knight. Are you what? What? Queen c6? That's a queen. That's a queen, man. That is a queen. Thank you. Thank you, no problem. And vampire chicken. Sec a pawn for 2000. Yep. There, c6. This looks nasty because white has a big center and castled. A PogChamp dream. I think knight f5 would be annoying. He goes classical, Magnus's. He likes this slow pushing. He doesn't want to really decide the game early on. Knight e2, knight g3. Also, shout out to the St. Louis Chess Club, because they are the ones doing this big event. The Clutch Champs. Man, he also crushed. Wow. He is in a crushing mood. Crushing mood. There. Lots of free queens, right? Bishop c4. Playing some sort of Grunfeld, knight d3. But it seems that Narayanan is dropping everything. So when he has an extra... Oh, queen! I remember I beat Wesley in some practice blitz game with this rook d1 trick. Now, white has an extra piece. However, this bishop is so bad staring at the wall, just like this one, that it's not that clear. If Magnus gets to activate those rooks or start pushing those pawns, it won't be that crystal clear. Yeah, they are on Twitch. Ooh, nice. Queen f6, queen g7, checkmate. d3, knight d2. So we get the King's Indian attack. Gonna see e4 soon. Yep. de, a5, c3. So whenever there's no more fight in the center, you'll get a little bit of fight on the flanks. So that's why black is trying to gain space on both flanks. It's also hitting on this pawn. Ooh, that's actually winning, because there were no rook e2. Takes. Taking was not a good idea. Now white gets the bishop pair, and that's some sort of a compensation. Rook f1. There, h3 takes. Bishop f4, and again you can see the strength. Now there's some knight g6 trickies to defend. Isn't there g5? Seems to be winning a piece. However, the king does get a little bit exposed. Not that it's objectively not losing, but hey, you take what you can get. Okay, rook f5. There, maybe h5, and you can get closer to the h-pawn. That could be something. That's what he's going for. Why not rook d2, winning the queen? Rook d2. Yeah, that's just losing. That's a nice win by Narayanan. 2 wins so far. c4. That's again a gracious gift. Wow. I think that was a joke, but a funny one. Whoever puts in the age wins, possibly. Don't get this Swiss cheese formation. Not healthy. Because who has the center? White does. Okay, actually, if Magnus gets... Oh, that's a free pawn. Bishop d4. That's just hanging. Queen f6. I think he's going to survive. e6. And if he survives, the one who gets attacked is white. Queen h3. Not sure that's a great idea. Now, because black has more pawns... Oh, rook f5. This one's hanging. b4. King g6. h4 is in. h5 will be a threat. However, I do think that it is Magnus who's better here. That cb pawn is a juicy target. Goes h5 so you can bring in the king and start pushing those pawns later on. still needs to be protected. But after the c-pawn falls, it's probably an easy win. So, that's a win for Magnus after 2 losses. That's kind of good. Yeah, this is fast. It's called bullet. Cyber. e4. So this is called the hat by Fusli. So we're going to call it the hat. From now on, it's the hat. Whoever says anything else is banned. Bishop c2, I guess you want to keep it. Goes bishop c4. He targets the f7 pawn. The big truth of chess. Always attack f7 or f2. Queen there. Queen c2 could be an idea, however, you don't want to step into that. So Magnus avoids that, plans to go queen f3. Knight d7, now he gets a good bishop, however knight e5 is going to exchange everything. There, g3, again a typical Luft move instead of h3. Queen e4 getting the e-file. And probably I'm expecting some a4, a5 action soon enough. h4. So white has a stronger king, which matters a lot in these endgames. So Magnus will try to milk this one. King is coming closer. It's objectively drawn. However, in a practical game, this can be very, very tricky. Super, super tricky. There, and oh, I can see the road. And if that king walks up there, or even this direction, it might be over. But, okay, that's a good save. However, here the quality of the pawns will count. And the quality of the c-pawn is better than the h-pawn. And he also has a second more. If he somehow manages to win the h-pawn, he can win. Probably it'll be a draw. Oh, what I was telling you. The h-pawn is fallen. It's fallen. King c6. He's going to win this. Tell me. King c6, he's gonna win this. Queen d6, and the quality of the pawn wins the game. Also time. Yep, that's how you do it, people. That is how you do it. Also, let's put on a hat. What do you think about that? I would, but he's playing. So, probably next time. Not this time. Okay. So easy. So he's going for this one, bishop d4. And black has again a nice barricade of pieces. Look, there's the fianchetto bishop. Knight e6. Trying to go for that square, going with the other knight, and he's trying to take control of that square on f4. Rook g4 is gonna double. He's trying to put pressure here, but I don't believe it. And he can again maybe think about walking all the way to e7 and get the rook on the h-file. Queen h8, wow, that's funky. Still wants to take, but I don't believe it. I don't think it's good. Ooh, knight f6, winning that rook. Back, again, he's going to take control over that square. What? You just take it. What was that? There, oh, rook f5, whoa. Queen h8. So, Wizard has these ghost threats, but they're just not working. There, now it's getting real. It's getting real over here. There. King e7. Oh, knight f6. You don't want to get mated in one. But now it's winning. Clean, clean win. Knight d4, h3. So they're doing some King's Indian bouts. Problem with this system is that d6 pawn is super weak. So Narayanan is trying to cheese Carlsen somehow, but Carlsen is going to go slowly. Slowly push. Oh, that's hanging. So f3 would be an idea. If you take there, you take everything and rook d8, bishop h6 will be checkmate. So if you take everything, your rook will have to move to e4. So again, Wizard is just down a full pawn and not doing great. So do really good players not play 10 minutes? They play long games over the board. So they do not really care about, wasting time online. So that's why they play quicker games. Wojtas, thank you for the follow. There, takes rook c8, and again, doom comes on the 8th rank. Like the alien, sort of. c5, Magnus is on the roll. He's 4-0 in. Will he get the adoption? Let's see. People, what do you think? What do you think? Oh, I missed a win. Another win by Magnus, a quickie. Bishop d3. Yeah, again. Queen d4. He's again a little bit stingy. However, this might work out in Narayanan's favor. He should go b6. Goes knight g4. He's trying to win the pawn back, which will give him a good position, but I don't know. Bishop e2, b5. Ooh, he's trying to open it up. But as you can see, if you're up a pawn, you want to exchange pieces. Quickly. Adoption papers signed? Not sure yet. Because it's 6-0. Although his position is improving drastically. He's down a pawn, but he does have the d file. Rook b8. Again, he's giving counter chances. I don't like that from a black's perspective. You need to go rook d8 sooner or later. Attacking that pawn. Trying to get in. There, and starts rolling with the g pawn. Probably will go king h7. Maybe g3 would make sense just to open it up. No wonder he goes king g3. No adoption. I don't think it's coming. You can take on g2 as well. He goes queen e3, just trying to be as clean as possible. This is Magnus playing Narayanan. There, the g-pawn is coming. There. But there's these passers on the other side. So I'm not sure if this is winnable. The bishop will be on e2 stationing there. No, I don't think he's gonna win this. Also, this h-pawn is falling. He might even lose it. Takes? No. If anyone wins this, it's Magnus. But not really, because the b-pawn will be taken and it's a draw. Yep. But that was close. That was close. Man, no adoption. Oh, the Norwegian by the Norwegian. Nice. This knight g7 idea, this knight h5 is the Norwegian variation. It doesn't have a good reputation. Hope that doesn't shock you. Takes c6. Again, he gets 50 pawns in the center, and that's the thing that you want to have. Thank you for the follow. Vamos. There, and the g-pawn's a little weak. However, he has good development. Bishop e3. Knight d5. That's knight hitting the bishop, activating the dark squared bishop. And this bishop is just much better than the c2 one. Can double or take. Take. Rook d2. Not only you threaten there, if you go there, I can take on c2. Told you, this bishop on c5 is OP. b6. Gonna take that pawn. Gonna take some more. I mean, this is just joyous. They can't take there. Now rook d6 is the sneaky idea, trying to promote. But Magnus is alert. Now the b pawn is just gonna run down the board. Just win it. Takes e7. Oh, missing this trick. Oh. So now Magnus is upset. That's why he's thinking. Check, check. He's trying to run with this pawn. Question is if you can stop the e pawn. And you can. You can't actually. Because exchange the still 3 pawns. Take on b5. It's complicating things. B pawns are still running. So there's some smidgen of hope. Just smidgen. But not quite enough. I don't think this is enough. Takes. And those pawns are fast. H5. Well, the wizard has 6 seconds. But Magnus gives in. So in fact, it's 1.5 for the last couple of moves, which is not bad. There, good old Benoni with the knight d2 system, not even stopping b5. Oh, the e4 pawn. What about the e4 pawn? I think Magnus is on a slight tilt. Even though he has some compensation, that's still a pawn. Okay, queen e3. I guess h4, h5 will be coming soon. Let's go h4, h5. h4, h5. Let's go. g4? No, he avoids that. He forks instead. Reasonable. Reasonable choice. Only on clutch chess. I guess that's the rapid one. They do stream it there. Cyber. Rook e1 and the h-pawn. Not surprisingly, he's up the board. Queen e8, and he's going to use the fact that this king cannot run around. Bishop d6, and that's a smooth win. That is a smooth win for Mr. Magnus Carlsen. Which is nice. Which is nice. DC, they're playing the Catalan. One of those Klasitskaya systems that we all love. Yeah. Some classical things going on there. Thank you for the follow, sir. Dumb. So, knight b4. He's going to have that d5 square. That's why wizard brings the knight over there, so that's stopped. However, again, there's a target on e5. Probably knight c4 is best. Trying to counterattack on b6. Takes knight b5. Wants to take on b6. Maybe rook c8. Yeah, hitting that rook. You can't take. That rook is hanging. Bishop f6. Also, you can't take over there. However, honestly, I feel this position might be just better for wizard, because once this knight gets close to that a pawn, there'll be problems. Bishop c7, knight c5. Note these knights are taking away all these critical squares from the king. There, knight takes e6. Ooh, that pawn is unstoppable. h7 takes, take on g5. There, knight f4. Takes, king e6, and probably this is just surviving for Magnus. Go knight d4. Oh, it might just turn. This is actually not a draw. If black manages to get the knight to c6, it's not a draw. Yo, wizard. Think you're wrong. Actually, king stays on b5. So it's a draw. Wow, that was a miracle draw. That was a miracle draw. Yeah, now it's a draw. Yep. A very well defended game by Magnus. Also, if you guys are new to our channel, hello, I'm Grandmaster Dennis Boros. And if you want some more chess, some studying, and want game analyzed as a sub, check out our Discord and Facebook. Ooh, this bishop looks a bit trapped. There, you can go knight h6, but then the bishop can drop back. Takes, that's hitting there. Takes fg. Still looks iffy, because those bishops are kind of boxed in. Although it's an extra pawn. I think that's fine. Predictions for Levon Magnus. Do not know. I'd still call Magnus a favorite because most of the times he's the one winning those matches. Bishop f5, b4. He's trying to roll with b5. And the problem is that this bishop is dead. Like dead, dead. It doesn't have a scope. It hits straight into the wall. However, it is an opposite colored bishop, so it's not that easy to see what's going to be happening. There, bishop b3, taking that pawn. And there's just too many weaknesses and little time for Wizard. So if anyone has a chance to win this, it is Magnus. He might start pushing the g pawn, fixing this h7 pawn. Check? What? Why do you go for the endgame? Takes. Okay, there's that a pawn weakness. He's trying to dart over there, and then he says I have 2 pawns on the sides winning, and probably he's right, yeah, because once he has that a6 pawn, he's going to win the a7 and he's going to promote. h6, g6. So this is the hippo, my people. Hippo. One of the favorites of Gata Kamsky. Should be 7. Probably she is not a fan of the hippo, but she is partner now. So shout out to Anna Maya. Takes. He has those 2 bishops, but a little bit more passive position. So it's kind of even now. But in the long run, once it opens up, that's why he plays d5, black is going to be better. So there it takes 6. f5 doesn't fork now because the e6 pawn is hanging. Knight e3 trying to exchange, but Carlsen realizing that he has a better knight now, he's going for these exchanges and activating the knight on d3. But that does allow some tricks, and you don't have to ask him twice to go for them. Knight f6, knight c4, rook b5. There. Hitting the queen, trying to get some counterplay. Queen exchanges was, I think, a bad idea. There, he might build g4, knight f3. This king can be in trouble. Instead of knight f3, goes knight d3. Takes, knight h6. This is hanging. But the knight is trapped. He's trying to go into that endgame. Takes. But you can't ever win this pawn. Whenever you try to take, this f pawn is running down the board. Persona's coming out. Interesting. Knight c3. Is that a new info? Knight d5. a5. Some old main line. Castle. I think played in the Karpov-Kasparov matches. There, bishop b2, knight e1. Again, activating the bishop. f4. So see that? White is doing his best to activate all his folks. e4, now he gets the big center. He's castled. This is a dream. This is everyone's dream. If you can get this, you're happy. b4. King h1, hiding from tricks. Rook f3, over defending. Bishop d4. Probably over defense was not that good. He should have taken on e5. Now, Wizard does get some sort of chances. e5, this bishop comes in there, attacking the b pawn. Even c4 comes as an idea. Knight e3. c4. Why don't you play c4? Dynamism, Wizard, dynamism. Rook d8, takes 6, queen a4. He's still better, but he's trying to be too technical. He needs to be less technical. It's Narayanan versus Magnus. e6. And because black was so passive, he's losing. This bishop was bad. That's why I wanted to play c4. Give up the pawn and activate your bishop. And that was checkmate. That's what you get if you don't play aggressively. People, play aggressively. d4, d5. Oh, so it was a 3 wins in a row. cd, some good old Slav. Bishop f5, e6. Feels a little bit like the Rapport Jabava. Be aggressive, right? It is Narayanan Magnus. In fact, I'm gonna update the title. So you guys can see. There, it's up a pawn. However, white has the bishop pair. Probably is gonna take. It's not taking. Interesting. So black is up a pawn, but that is compensated by the bishops. Queen d5, I'm expecting some devilish trick. There takes... Okay, this is completely drawn. They're going to play this, but this is drawn. Knight e4. He might try to undermine those guys. Their bishop c5, and he will get a knight versus the bishop. Here, actually, there will be some chances. He's putting all his pawns on dark squares. He will dart up to d4 and try to somehow smoke out that king. And again, there's a problem on f3. So now, as the king has wandered off, there'll be f5 ideas, and then he's gonna win the pawn. An h-pass, and this bishop is terrible. Nice technique. Nice technique. The king is coming around, and then he's going to push the pawn. Takes another pawn, and it's over. The f pawn is running down. You can't win. Even if you take, you never can reach the h pawn. So that was just beautiful. This was a masterpiece. Those were bastard knights, right? Takes, again, we play and see this concept, knight c2, knight c5, bishop f4, trying to bother that d6 pawn. So white is a little bit better, especially with this bishop on f8. This is sad. Is too much bullet bad for you? Yeah, you usually should play 5 minutes or 3 minutes splits. That's better. This knight d4 could be coming. Bishop g5, hitting on f7 there. Queen h4, queen h4. No, Magnus is going technical. Boo! What is bishop h4? Ah, the bishop was hanging. That's why. Now he's going for that attack. e5, come on, man. Attack, attack, attack. No, see? Magnus likes this slow-mo way of playing. He's just trying to squeeze the life out of his opponent. Queen f4, then there's bishop e5. So bishop e5 is still an idea. Takes. Yeah, he's being very technical. But now this technical play backfires. You can't move the bishop. Boom. Take on e5, but then there's queen f6. Takes. No, this was a blunder. Now he's losing. Don't get too technical, people. The wizard called Merlin. Yes, Merlin is a fantastic magician. Mage. Queen e6. The king is still iffy. However, after he builds up this fortress with f6 g5, it's not that easy to get close to. Although Magnus is trying to go and build some counterplay on the other side. This a pawn is running down the board. Queens? 8? Yeah. Whoa, so we've got 5 wins in a row. 5 wins in a row. So like a semi-adoption. But will we see a full adoption? CD. Again, this is a very tedious line. White has a little bit more space. Should be 5. Ooh, this doesn't look good. Knight c7 is a threat. He can go and try that, but that's risky. Because then he might be forced to give up a knight for the rook. Magdoption, yes, Augux. Hey, Bob Dylan. Bishop d7, he did not go for that. He refused to take and instead goes for pressure. Rook here, knight d5, and the king is extremely misplaced on d8. Takes, knight f6, king e7, f4. Good play by wizard so far. Okay, rook c1. You want to get the c file. Knight c3. Boo! Don't go backwards. Now you're gonna lose that pawn. Black gets the bishop pair. No, bad move. Test. Thank you for the follow. Bishop e4. Bishop takes. And these bishops are quite strong, so don't underestimate them. Bishop f5, and in fact, I think he has enough compensation. Never go backwards, people. Never go backwards. Now he's going forward with what? What? c6. Yeah, there was this tricky, but now he's dropping that pawn. And now it is Magnus who's better with those pawns running down the board. I really like when he's attacking. Wizard is very good when he's attacking. But when he decides to be passive, that's when things go downhills for him. f3, f2, and bye-bye. 6-0. 6-0. f4. Magnus is going all in. Will we see the 7th win? Will we see it? Ooh, those pawns are running. H4, H5. And this king is going to get mauled. Ooh, some tricks. But Magnus doesn't fall for it. I assume we're going to see some fireworks. Does it work? It doesn't, because there's some checks. The queen is going to slalom to the H file. And it's game over. It is game over. 7-0. Wow. Will we get the adoption? Okay, d5, e6. So Magnus is still provoking, trying to inch closer to the adoption. He's trying to go bishop b7, attack that pawn. But Wizard is doing the right thing. You still have to be aggressive even if you're down. That's the way to play the game of chess. d-e, rook e1, or bishop h6. He's trying to gang up on this guy. There, knight e8. The knight is going to d6. Probably surprising Wizard just a tidbit. Knight d6. And h6, f5 would make sense. He doesn't even do that. He keeps h6 as an option. Maybe f4, h6 will be an idea, trying to trap the bishop. Yep, and that bishop is almost trapped. It does have enough time to escape. However, the knight will slalom to these juicy squares and also h6. h6, hey, bishop f4. This is hanging. This is hanging. You can't take. You can't take on f4. You can take it. You can take it. Doesn't take. Misses it. Misses it. Whoa, big miss. King h2. There's no other place. Queen f2. Then I exchange. Doesn't exchange. They keep missing it. Now the rook is defended, and h6 will be trapping that bishop. Knight a5. That bishop is still terrible. c6, I guess. Rook b8. Interesting. Knight b3. Back to d4, where it enjoys its time. h6. No time. Zero time for Wizard. And this is just going to lose. That d and b pawn is just too fast. Bishop e5. King d6. Very technical play. 8-0. 8-0. 8-0. 8-0. Oh man. Just 2 away. Just 2 away. That's insane. That is insanity. That's insane. g4. And I guess we've got to ask the big question. Will we see the true adoption? Let's see. He's still on the roll. Takes. He's down a pawn. But the king is iffy, and this knight can slalom to f6. And if that knight gets there, knight e4, takes. Knight g2. What a move. Knight f6. King h8 takes. And black is fighting it. Rook e8. Queen e4. Wow, what a brilliant move. Rook e4, then check, and rook g8 checkmate. This is gorgeous. You can't stop. You either lose the rook on e8 and the game, or get mated. Rook e4, rook d8, and it's mate. 9-0. 9-0, people. 9-0. Okay, Magnus is going for his main line. He's going all in. DC. This is vintage Carlsen Caruana match. Castles. He will start rolling with f5. f4, good move. Wizard should start exchanging. Yes. Good play. Queen f4 or queen f2. b6. He's trying to maneuver. Stop this f5 break. a4. He's fixing the structure. Rook d8. Maybe he's planning to sacrifice. No, he doesn't. He exchanges a rook. Yes, he goes again. Takes. So maybe he's going for the endgame. He's hoping to go for that and chasse in to b2. Wizard was bamboozled. Oh, he's losing another pawn. He loses that, and it's adoption. Adoptionen. Everybody spam emotes. Adoption complete. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodnito. Goodnito. He's even going for more. Is he going for doblito? Doblito adoptionen. I don't know if he will go for that, but it's possible. Who knows? Who knows? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Adoption might be incoming. Oh, not anymore. Not anymore. It's probably gonna stay a little bit like that. Bishop g4 takes. Why bishop g4? That's a mystery to me. Takes, he gets the exchange, but the king is safe. Wow, that was scary. I think Magnus will survive this one. f4, if he gets the bishop there, then he's fine. Still has a good blockade. So I wouldn't be so sure if he doesn't survive. So this looks dangerous. Super dangerous. Oh, those c-pawns are running. You can't even sacrifice. Oh my goodness. The c-pawn. Yo, go back. Defend. Rook c5. Oh, bishop f4. Hitting there. Rook a5. You can take, but I don't know. This is obviously a draw, but you have 10 seconds. Don't know if you'll survive that one. Will Magnus try? Magnus is going to try. Take. Now it's a draw. Now it is a draw, but he has no time. Seconds, but this, I don't think, can be a win. And he avoids second adoption. Whoa. Dirty flag. Yes, Samuel. Dirty flag indeed. Also, guys, hello there. If I'm new to you and you're interested in lectures, arenas, and such, do check us out on Discord. We do provide game analysis for our subs, so if you feel like joining us, do so. Me on Twitch, thank you for the followage. Finally, Wizard is the one going for the kill. He's trying to go there, but I don't see how he's going to succeed. He needs to get rid of this guy. That's why he's trying to go knight f6. Knight f6 should be incoming. Yep. So once the g file opens up, this will be a win. Okay. I sense some good vibes for Mr. Magician. Explain adoption. 10 wins in a row. is an adoption. Again, he's surviving. The queen will be there in time. There, and maybe there'll be some counterplay. The rooks are very clumsy in close positions. So again, I wouldn't be so sure that Magnus won't fight his way back. Magnus is dominating. Rook wants to go there, but that's not a big threat. There's always queen g7. Queen d2. Queen c3. Just taking that square, and queen b3 is incoming. Ooh, and rook f2. Checkmate. Wizard, wizard, wizard. Painful. Painful. Another win for Magneto. Thought I had water ready. I don't. Tragedy. Tragedy. The tragedy. I have to tank up on water. Let's get that water in here. Bishop takes c6, e3, bishop g5, queen e2. And white has more pawns in the center. However, black has the bishop pair and some flank attacks. So that is sort of a thing that you have to deal with. Actually, I have to ask you guys an important question. Who is your favorite player? Take a look at the poll. So they're playing this system again, which is very dodgy. And if before b5 happens, I don't know what Magnus is hoping for. Maybe he can go back to bishop d7. However, these bishops are fairly passive. Ding! Yeah, I forgot to mention him. Okay, bishop takes a7. Takes, knight, bishop takes. And again, he's going for the bishop pair as some sort of compensation. That's a good way of exchanging. When you're up material, you want to exchange. However, again, pawns and the bishop pair will be enough compensation. Shockingly enough, I know. There, knight d6, bishop c5, rook c8 makes sense. You want to defend your guys first and foremost. Rook d1, knight e5, I don't like that move. Black now has two pieces, bishop f8, c8, then rook d7, then there's check. I don't like this one. Maybe objectively tenable, but not really. There, king f6, knight e5. Yeah, Ivanchuk is a legend. What? That's a free pawn. Free pawn, man. It's a free pawn. Knight f7. Just get on in. Or knight d3 here. The only question is if rook d7 is mate in one. Oh, we missed it all. I missed it. He missed it. Everybody missed it. No. That's terrible. That is terrible. Whoa, what a miss. f4, e4, d4. Takes 6. And now he's going to start rolling with the g-pawn. Like a real G. Like a real OG. He's rolling with the pawn and probably... Oh, that's actually even trapped. The knight is trapped. Can't go anywhere. Probably resignation incoming. Hipster. You know, people do get stuck on some ratings. Don't worry about it. Keep pressing. Enjoy the game. Do puzzles if you like that. Do some Karpov game analysis. And eventually, you'll gain more strength by looking at them. Don't ever lose hope. Sorry for that brain freeze. Just in a second. Yeah, I think he kind of felt this was enough with this knight being lost on f6, which is understandable. This can be very, very annoying. Bathroom break? I don't think so. I think this is upset. He was just being super upset with that knight. Oh, he's back. He is back. Who is my favorite player? Bronstein is my favorite player. However, there are many, many good players, and I kind of share my sympathy for Ivanchuk. He's just a legend. So yeah, g5. There's not much to do there. Probably. Let's see. Did he swap an opponent? Let's see. Let me take a look. Nope. It's probably the last game over there. Magnus is offline. Oh yeah, he's still up to play a clutch match. So just a side note, as Vampire Chicken points out perfectly, that's fantastic. He's actually playing a serious rapid tournament pretty soon. He's playing against Levon Aronya. In fact, I'm gonna ask you guys, who is the favorite? Who do you think is the big favorite? Magnus is playing clutch chess. Favorite is Magnus. Aronya, the tiebreaker, is the favorite. Who knows? Who do you think is the big favorite there? And if you ask me, should you play online before an event? My normal answer would be no, don't do it. It's not good for you. However, for Magnus, it's not necessarily that bad thing. He usually plays a lot of chess. He enjoys playing chess, and he wants to be speedy, as this whole event is online, and it's tomorrow. Oh, he's not playing it today. Well, maybe that's why. Maybe that is the reason why he's doing it. Can somebody post the link? Can somebody post the link here for clutch chess? Thank you. Thank you, Vampire Chicken. Thank you, Jonathan, for posting it. You like Aronyan's style? So people, vote. Who's going to win? Magnus, Aronyan, or the tiebreaker? Aronyan had very, very exciting match right there. Like an exciting match against Grishuk. He was at the ropes as far as I saw those times. But that was a good match. So if you will have the time, I would advise you to check out those matches between Caruana versus Dominguez and Aronyan versus Grishuk. It was very exciting. Thomas says, only found out the other day that Aronyan has the 4th highest live rating ever. No, Aronyan is a fantastic player. You mostly enjoy the game, Nightmare. Ah, he's 7th. But I mean, being top 7th all time is not that bad. Whoa, dead heat between Magnus and Aronyan. Nice. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys some of my favorite games that I played. And this game that I played here was against none other than a future challenger. So can anybody guess who it was? My studies here. It's not a future challenger, by the way. Oh, it's not here. This one. This is the one. I was playing black. So he already has challenged for the World Championship title. So can anyone guess who did I play? So it was a future World Championship challenger at that moment when I played him. Karyakin. Thank you for the follow, Svihalkov. Let me see. I'll give you guys a poll chance. Caruana. So we played in Budapest, and this was the first time I saw him. Was very interesting. Saw his early coach. And I played my patent opening. And what's fascinating is it was none other than the dragon. So I played the dragon against him. Over the board chess, Nightmare Griffin. OTB chess. So this was an OTB game against the future world champion challenger. Let me see if you guys can guess it. Who is the mysterious player that I played? So there's a poll. Do check it out. Feel free to vote. So Kramnik is leading. Caruana is second. And dead heat between Karyakin and Anand. So I already gave some tips and hidden ideas. So I played in Budapest. It was some time ago. And I wonder if that information is enough for you to guess it. Let me find something here. Yup. Let's see. Kramnik won. Well, you guys lost. Last guess. Everybody, you've got last guess. Last guesses. What is your last and final guess? So the last guess is after Elias is saying Caruana. Latte chess is implying I don't play chess. I play chess. No problem at all. Caruana afternoon. I don't know what that means. Anand got 2 votes. You should vote once. I don't understand why you vote twice. Anyways, the answer is, drum roll, is Caruana. So I played Caruana. Probably one of the first times. And one of those pictures that Fabiano might have been with me. So when he was facing me, I remember the table we were playing at. So when you see him at around 12, 13, he's, I think, playing me. But that is my guess. For double checking, we probably have to ask Fabiano if that is true and how he remembers it. But here is the game. So I was 3, 4 years older after Alias. So here, e4, c5, d6. I'm playing the dragon. Always was a big fan of the dragon. The dragon. Big fan. d4 takes knight c6. Actually, I did go for knight c6. In my memory, I thought that I did go g6. In fact, I went knight c6, bishop e2, and only after bishop e2 I played g6, transposing back. Now I remember. I remember that it was a dragon, but I didn't know that I intentionally played the rouser, or rouser was my main idea. Remembers I was wearing a hat. Don't know. Don't think so. Not this hat, for sure. So g6. Yeah, I was always a big fan of the dragon. So it was okay. I was happy to transpose. g6. And in fact, this is a strong move. Normally, and in fact, in our second game, he does go bishop g5. And this has a story. I might talk about this one later. And you know what? I'll tell you. So bishop g5 was played in our second game when we played. Then he crushed me, just destroyed me. And I thought nothing about it. I felt I was just destroyed. But then he played the exact same line that I played against him. Against Karyakin in the most pivotal game of his life. Because if he beats Karyakin in the candidates, he qualifies. I was shocked to see the same exact moves followed, and Karyakin, ironically, was playing the same thing that Fabi played against me. So that was unbelievable. I was just tuning in, watching the games, and was impressed to see that, hey, this position is familiar. It was this main line. This main line. How you remember your old-time games? You noted the moves? So people in the old times, and even today, you have to write down your moves. And when you write down moves, you not only remember because you see, so you get a visual memory of the position, but also you do some movements, so you have some muscular memory as well. So this was kind of surprising that I saw this return. He did play bishop g5 and won a beautiful game against me. G1 ease. So I was very impressed that he actually chose to play this with the side of mine. So g6, anyways, back to the game. I always liked to play the dragon. However, bishop e2 gave me some extra impetus to actually do so. Knight b3. Let me even change this, and this was Corona. Don't need this one. Well, we'll keep that for the moment. Let's put it on the top. Knight b3, bishop g7, castle, castle, rook e1. So he's playing this good old system known from the black side, but it's not that dangerous when you're facing it. After Atelia's system, I can't even remember my grocery list, much less written chess moves. But also, I mean, this was so emotionally ingrained in me that it's easy to remember. Now there's two ways, many ways actually, to remember things, and one of them is emotions. Lots of these high level and super grandmasters are so attached to the games, and they are so much emotionally invested that they remember it. So I'm so invested in this one that I just remember it. I can easily recall it. Hello Bookstong. Hello Chessline. Okay, so rook c8, bishop g5, knight e5. I'm just going for this good old knight c4 plan. If I get the bishop pair, I will be a happy camper. Just trying to get the bishop pair. Also, don't be too judgmental when you're watching this game. We are very young. We were young teenagers when we played this game. So our level is stronger than the POC champs, but how can I describe this? Stronger than the POC champs, but not stronger than an average IM. So we're slightly weaker than an international master. However, both of us became a grandmaster. So you see two players playing, okay, a future world championship challenger and two grandmasters. But they're just fledglings here. I think he had a little bit more rating than I did. I think I had 2050 and he had 2100 something. So knight d5, a very strong move by Fabiano. He's trying to put pressure on the e7 pawn. So you can see that he is well taught already. He knows that, hey, this will be the main target in the middle. If you can get and put pressure on the e7 pawn, you will have a good time. Bishop takes d5. This is the typical way you're supposed to take. If you take with the knight, you often run into f4s, and that e7 pawn will be an easy target. So you rather take with the bishop, because in the future, this knight might have a good place on c5. Takes d5, queen d7, connecting the rooks. And these are those small moves that never really get mentioned, but these matter a lot. Connecting the rooks do matter. Queen d7. Maybe I could have considered something like h6, trying to kick this bishop and ask him, are you going to stay along this diagonal or go bishop h4? But then there's no turning back. And that's why h6 actually is interesting an idea. Because in that case, oftentimes white has to decide what to do. Well, yeah, we're just like chess engines. We like connecting rooks. c3, just killing the scope of my bishop. Rook e8. And this is the move that I actually like. Again, kind of anticipating that in the future, Fabi is going to put pressure on e7. A little bit like Petrosian-esque. You're defending that square before anything happens. bishop e3, and bishop e3 is not such a good move. At least I don't think so. Because I felt that this bishop was doing a good job there, or at least I feel now. Probably h3 makes sense just to take away g4 square, and then just connect the pieces, or just queen d2. I wouldn't worry about knight c4. White is always ready to take there. Take, let's go rook d1. And with some pressure on the e file, white should be better here. But he's still kind of grasping what to do. So he goes for bishop e3. Why not f4? Because black eventually wants to play knight c4 anyways. That's why he doesn't go for f4. And that's not the whole concept. And Karana understands that he needs to put pressure on the position. And he's playing mostly either on the queen side with c4 and gaining space, or putting pressure on e7. There's no hope for a mating attack, so he's not going for it. You don't win that pawn. Again, you kind of underestimate this move, rook e8. That was the whole point. I made sure nothing ever happens. So. Bishop e3. a6, not gonna drop that pawn. Bishop d4, knight c4. And this is kind of the basic rule of chess. You find a plan, you follow through with the plan. And that's very important. Oop. Follow your plans. And that's what I did here. I wanted to play knight c4, eliminate that bishop. And now, even though I have a little less space, also note that I can't ever win here, that pawn, because there's bishop g7 and queen takes d5. And I'm down a piece. It's bad. Oh, it's bad. And even though I have less space, I have a solid position. However, when you have less space, you should be aiming to exchange pieces, and that's what I do here. So I go knight c4. How long ago? I think this was in 2003. So he must have been around 12 or 13. Both of us were teenagers. That's I'm pretty sure of. So takes, knight d2, rook c8, and I think a new Fabi would play c4 and build this Maroczy structure, and white would be just clearly better. But he goes knight e4, trying to exchange pieces, which I don't think favors white here. Knight e4, he's trying to exchange, but I don't think that's a good idea. c4 is better. Building a Maroczy structure. Knight e4, queen f5, and in this sense, queen f5 is a nice move. I'm inviting Fabi to exchange more stuff and also hitting on the d5 pawn. So I'm kind of pulling him in to do some damage to his own position. Also pinpointing that's a weakness. Takes, and with less pieces on the board, it doesn't really matter that I am a little bit passive with my pawns, because there's no way you can attack it. So the game is now roughly equal. a4, queen f5, still targeting that pawn on d5, preparing rook c5. Queen b3, queen d7. Just defending my stuff. Not being too greedy, but I don't want to give away my pawn. Talk about greed. Do we have our emote game, chat? Do we have our emote game? Because greed is one of those things that we believe in. We want to take pawns. If they give us the b pawn, sure, we would take it. Rook here. And now I want to corral that d5 pawn. How can I corral that d5 pawn? There's a potential threat of white eventually playing c4, defending it. How can I stop that? Well, if you double, I can still play c4. You have to be very direct in this specific case. f5 is kind of attacking the rook. However, you don't want to move pawns in front of your king, if possible. b5 indeed. b5. Don't know if I played it immediately. I didn't. I attacked the d5 pawn first, but I did play b5 in a second ago. Point is, I don't want you to play c4, and then you'll have an isolated d5 pawn and a true target. That's why b5 is such a good move conceptually. Stopping the c4 ideas. AB, rook d1, and on the surface, everything's fine. However, I'm going to put a bit more pressure. Played rook a8, getting my rook on the a file. So if you look at this position, we can say, hey, white has a weakness on d5, but so does black on e7. However, there is a hidden problem in white's position. Can anybody tell me what could be the hidden problem? Is it this triangle that nobody noticed? Was that the trick? Or something else? The back rank. The back rank is an issue. Apart from that, white is doing fine, but there could be back rank issues for Caruana. c4, bc, rook takes c4, and black to move and win. It's probably a very, very nice idea by me. And this is how I won the game against Fabiano Caruana. Alcioni, thank you for the follow. I'll give you guys some time to find the sequence. Obviously, the first move is logical. However, it's a little bit more complicated than that. It's black to move and win. So we note that the king has some back rank issues, but the d1 square is over defended, right? Many pieces attacking it. Rook takes d5. What if I just capture back that rook? This is a tricky one. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Rook a1. And if I go back with my rook, so if takes, check, back rank, but the rook can go backwards. One of the deals with these rooks, that they're tricky as well. They can go backwards. Okay, so let's take a look, shall we? So rook takes d5, rook takes d5, rook here. Now, as Fabi, you can't go rook c1 because rook takes c1. But rook d1, and you don't checkmate, because if you take, queen takes d1. Question is, can we overload the rook on d1 and the queen on b3? Can we overload the rook and queen? That is the $5 million question. Maybe a little less. Probably 4.9 million. So rook takes d5 has to be the move. Rook takes d5. Rook takes d5. If you go here, and there's rook d1. So I played check. What? That's not what I... What's happening? What is happening? That is not the line. So rook d5. He played rook c8 check. But if rook takes d5, the move is queen b7. And this is very nice. This is what I spotted during the game. Promote this, obviously. Very nice move. If you take, you are up a rook, a queen, but you can't deal with my lone rook on a1, and it's checkmate. You can give up both of them. It does not help you. Back rank mate. But what if queen d1? Good question. What is the move if queen d1? Jim Walker is saying, nice, couldn't get past queen b5, not working. What to do now? What to do in this case? Boom! Queen takes d5. Yep. And the same deal. It's checkmate. You go here, go there, still the same mate. And rook c8 is often like a trick that can derail you, but not here, because my rook also has an open file on c8, and I will checkmate this way. So queen d5 is fairly gorgeous. Fairly gorgeous. He went rook c8 instead. However, this is nice for multiple reasons. You can't capture my queen, and you can't really block me. If you move the queen anywhere else, I take on d5. You can't move the rook either, because then your rook and queen no longer protects that d1 square. So that is kind of fascinating. Honestly, I remember the moment I played and saw this rook d5, queen b7, I was very happy with myself. So queen f3, what happens after queen f3? What happens with queen f3? No, I didn't have this hat before. Did not have it. Boom, same deal. Again, you don't have this check. If you take, I check there and it's back rank. So that's why he decided to give it back with rook c8, which is a good practical try. But now I'm just up a pawn. And I actually managed to win it. Queen takes c8, queen d5. Queen takes c8 is good because I'm keeping this rook on d1. Queen d5 is better, not a question mark. It's actually a decent move. Takes, rook b8, queen c2, queen b2. And with 2 pawns, I manage to mop it up. Queen e4, more back rank tricks. Build up this good old triangle. e5 takes. After this, Caruana resigned, and I won. Black won. Oh, wrong link right here. King e1, and these pawns are just going to promote. And white resigned. So this was one of my game. The other one is the one that he won. So in fact, we have a tied score at the moment. Obviously, he is a world championship challenger now, and I'm not near that. So, with due respect to Fabi, but I really hope you enjoyed this queen takes d5 idea by me. I thought that was a cute win against Caruana. Does he remember? I do not know. You've got to ask yourself. I haven't done that. So I asked in the chat, would you guys want to see my miniature attacking game against Jeffrey Zhang? And you do want to. All right. Cool game. Thank you. I appreciate it. Let's take a look then. You want it, brain hacker? Here it goes. Here it goes. Let me give you the link. Also, people, just a side note, if you are interested in being part of this channel, I'm not the only one streaming. Mr. Ilya Nizhnik is streaming time and time again. So if you want to do and see us do lectures, play chess, do arenas, feel free to join us, sub or follow, or join our Discord if you like that and want to know whenever we go live. So, with further ado, let's take a look at this game. I played Jeffrey Zhang. Probably one of my favorite ones. Okay, let's add the chapter. This game is Boros Zhang. E4, D6. So this actually has a story. One of my coaches, when I was playing this event, was kind of pointing out that doesn't matter what I do, I will never win. And then I told him that, well, I'm not sure about that. I'm going to mate in 21 moves. It's funny. Whenever I said I'm going to win in 21 moves, it actually happened. Actually, I didn't say I win in 21 moves, but I said I'm going to win before move 20 something. I think 23. And whenever I said I'm going to checkmate before move 23, in my chess career, that always worked. So to the shock of my coach, when I won the game before move 23, he was like dumbfounded because he was so in awe of Jeffrey, which is a true thing. Jeffrey is an amazing player. However, not in this game. He does not shine. So I go bishop g5. I'm going all in with the attack. And I think that's not a bad choice in general. Bishop g5, knight d7, bishop c4, queen b6, bishop b3. Typical play. In fact, I did beat another prodigy with this line. His name was Christopher Yu. Sijam owner, thank you for the follow. I have no clue. Lyrical chess. e6, queen d2, knight c5, f3. So I'm kind of pinpointing that I'm going for the big attack. Bishop e7, castles. So I'm ready to start rolling. If your opponent is about to ready to roll you with g4, h4, should you castle short? So g4, h4 is possible. So should black castle? What do you guys think? Yes, no, maybe. I'll ask Santa Claus or something. I don't really worry about knight b3. I will always capture back with the pawn, and it's not a big deal. Spend up saying, I think yes. Okay. Now, this is one of those things. Like, Jeffrey is a fantastic player. He already was fantastic. In this sense, my coach was correct. He is a fantastic player. He's on the top right now. But on the other hand, he has something. He's very optimistic, sometimes too optimistic. And in this case, I'm going to use the fact that Jeffrey gets a bit too optimistic with his moves and chances. And that's what I'm going to use. Ritzer is saying, I'd say no because you'd be controlling many squares around the area with your pawns. True. Hello, Arsakyan. And the poll says, no way, you shouldn't castle short. And I agree. And in fact, Jeffrey plays some very nice moves. Plays bishop d7, king b1, queen c7. He doesn't take on b3 yet because he can take there anytime. King b7, and queen c7 is a really nice move. He's saying, hey, I'm not going to castle into your pawn storm because it'll be difficult to deal with that. I don't want to do that. That would be terrible. Puspraj India, thank you for following. So g4, h4, h5 would be a problem. g4, b5. He's on the roll. a3, I can't let Jeffrey roll me with b4, a5, and a4. If that happens, oftentimes this bishop gets stuck. That's why I decided to play a3 instead. Oh, a3, stopping b4, queen b7, rook e1, a5. And here, Jeffrey makes a terrible mistake and plays a5. Now it is white to move and attack like a madman. If I'm proud of any of my games, this is kind of on my top of the list. e5, that's an alternative. So whenever you're attacking, you do have to pinpoint some details. And one of those details is the king's placement. Which king is better? Whites or blacks? Whites. Whites is much better. What's wrong with black's king? If we notice the issues with the king on e8, finding my next move will be easy. It's in the middle, yes, it's an important thing to pinpoint, but that's not the only thing. So the king is in the middle. My rooks are eyeing the king. And rooks, as we all know, want something, particularly one thing in chess. That's the only thing they want. They're very particular people. They want open files. Yep. Knight f5. Saying, hey, you can take on f5 if you want to, but that will be at a cost. You open up my rook, that is rooks, and with the bishop attacking you in the middle. Now you can't castle anymore because your bishop on e7 is hanging. Also have threats on this pawn on d6 and g7. And that's what I was telling you about this a5 move. That move by Jeffrey was super duper optimistic. And that's what's wrong with it. It left the king in the middle. Even though the concept of keeping the king in the middle is not bad for a while, but after rook e1, knight f5 is actually a hammer blow. knight f5, and the question is ef, ef. If black goes king d8, how can I crash through? This is question number 2. Because if black is up a piece, I have no chances. I'm just going to lose. However, I calculated this, and I solved this one, and I was going into this one with confidence. So note that there's still plenty of pieces defending the king. So I need to demolish it. Boom! The rook is acting like the demolition man. Takes, king takes, queen takes d6. And the big question is how to continue after king e8. So always check how many defenders does your opponent have. How many defenders does black have left? 2. So if you can get rid of those defenders, you're just cleanly winning. Indeed, bishop f6, the cleanest. And after gf, here comes the decisive idea, knight d5. You can move the bishop away trying to defend this, because knight takes f6 smothers mate in the middle of the board, which is very nice if you ask me. Super duper nice. And smother mate. And if you don't do that, then queen e7 is just checkmating, and you can't castle because your king has already moved. Therefore, Jeffrey decides to avoid all of this. ef, same thing. Again, if knight b3, I have the same exact sacrifice. Check, check, takes, takes, knight d5. And because of his pieces being scattered, he has not enough counterplay. There. So he decides to do something else. Your king is in big danger, and Jeffrey's move, to his credit, is probably the most resilient. Let's try to find black's next move. The king is in big danger, as we've seen. These sacrifices would just end the game and be over. There's not much you can do. So Jeffrey comes up with the best possible move in the position. Knight e6, I'll just take, and the attack is still raging. Castles. A very strong practical decision by Jeffrey. He's not interested in the attack. He says, okay, you won whatever you won, but at least my king is safer, or safe. Rook takes e7, and now I have an extra pawn. But Jeffrey is claiming that, hey, I'm going to attack you very soon. Knight takes b3, and probably here comes the best move that I played so far in chess. Or at least, I find this one the most elegant. White to play. So the big idea of Jeffrey is if I take b4 and then if he gets some attacking chances on my king, it's not obvious if I'm better. Also c takes b runs into some bishop takes f5, queen e7 ideas. That I wouldn't want to deal with. So my next move is very, very, very much dealing against all of these threats by my opponent. Preventing b4? I don't know. So the first question is to realize how safe that king is. Arsenal second is saying double attack the f6 knight. Yeah, if I can get rid of the f6 knight, I will be super happy. However, I've got to do it right. So if I lose mating threats, things can get dicey. So if I take here, b4, and I don't know, I'm actually getting a little nervous with white's position. I'll show you how easy it is to lose this position. Takes, you take here, knight d2 check, takes, queen takes b2, bye-bye. That's it, you lost. You had a beautiful attack, then you resign. And you resign early. So it's easy to mess up these positions. So the next move is very critical. Hello, haha noob. To be honest with you, the next move is the proudest moment of my chess career. And it's queen e3. Storm is asking, how do you get good? How do you get good? Well, you practice a lot and you learn a lot of patterns. You do tactics. You do all of them. And then you try to learn even more from others. You always have to grow. You do have to have the idea that you're a scientist and you always want to better the science you're working in and the field that you're working in, that is. So queen e3 is a very nice move. And I'm proud of this one. Maybe it ain't as good as I think it is, but it has a strong point. Black has one threat. After queen e3, not only do I defend all of my pieces, bishop takes f6 is an option, and my queen is winking on the king side. Also note, black will need to make 1, 2, 3 moves to checkmate me. Why is this so good? Because if I took b4 and immediately my king would be exposed. With queen e3, it will take extra moves for black to get there in due time. That's the point. That's the point of queen e3. Also note, if the knight moves, then I can take. b4. You need to continue with the attack. If you don't continue with the attack, there'll be issues. Issues deep. Let's continue. Yes, of course, bishop takes f6. bc. And this one, even though might seem to be a downer, is a very strong move. Sometimes going Pac-Man matters a lot. Bishop g7 would be good for black, because then you would get checkmated. Bishop g7 runs into the aforementioned knight d2 and queen b2 checkmate. And that's as actually to the credit for the Najdorf and Jeffrey. He did everything that he could, but this attack that I played against him was just too strong. Bishop c3 is the good move, saying, hey, your attack is done, you can have your extra piece. However, mate is incoming. Mate is incoming. Rook e8, and it's white to move. And mate. And please, please, go deeper than one move. Who played Jeffrey? I did. This was the game between me and Jeffrey. Okay. Big move is queen g5. That's what I played. Problem is the following. Can go f6, blocking this bishop, because then you open up my rook and queen g7 is checkmate. You go g6, you can go queen h6, and there's mate on g7. Go f6, again, you close this bishop, but you left my queen open. So after queen h6, Jeffrey resigned. So on move 23, the game was over. Because that f6, queen h7, I can safely bet that any queen move right there will win the game. So this was one of my nice attacking games against Jeffrey Zhang, which is the one I'm pretty proud of. Attacking is better. Yep, attacking is the best. Is the best, Storm. Alright, people. I really hope you enjoyed these lessons and some Magnus Watch. And to pass it on to a new partner. Congratulate her on that. And maybe, if you guys are interested, think it would make sense for you to check out our links. Check out our Discord. Follow or sub in the future. Ignominious, thank you for the follow. With that, I'll say goodbye and hope you had fun here. Take care all. Akarin, thank you for the follow. And Ignominious Hahanu followed. Yeah, sorry about that. I missed that part. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.